Building a car is super tough. It's exhausting, it's expensive, takes a ton of effort, and a lot of stuff goes wrong. So I wanted to break down a couple things, give you guys a project update, where we're at on our Duster build, and then also just share a few thoughts that I've had as I go through this build. You know, kind of being a beginner on this, you know, some of my expectations versus the way things actually are. And if you're just focused on the end point, you're gonna have a hard time. You really gotta love the work that goes into building something. Otherwise, it's easy to get bogged down in the details. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Duster Bust. My name's Marcos, and we are a little more than halfway into our 30-day push to get the Duster on the road. We are nowhere near where I hoped we would be, but that's all right, because honestly, I enjoy the work, and it's been fun to really push the project forward, but everything goes wrong. So let me show you guys a couple things that I've run into and some updates as we go through it. Brakes, I showed you guys this last time. We got the rotors put on. That's looking pretty good there. So my buddy Marion was here helping me out yesterday, and we got the sway bar put in, and I think this looks good. Looks nice and solid. Should help us out with our turning. This is a stock piece, so this was originally on the car. Bushings, I did order, so just a little issue. Ordered some bushings, and first time Summit ever does this. They're usually really reliable, but I got charged for some bushings. They showed up, but I got a random switch in the box instead of my bushings. Let me show you guys. All right, here's my little switch. I didn't order a switch. I didn't want a switch, but I got a switch instead of a bushing, so it is what it is. Luckily, O'Reilly's had the right bushing. Marion worked on this for me yesterday, got that all buttoned up, looks good. Calipers. All right, got some calipers painted. I think they look pretty legit. They're a little heavy. They're the stock calipers. It is, actually, that's pretty darn close. It's not perfect, but you know, actually, that looks pretty stinking good. So I'm excited to see how, here, let's just put them up here and see how they look. This may not even be the right side. Here, let's see how these are gonna look. Pretty, well, maybe if I had a yellow fender, it would look better. But I think those are pretty sweet. All right, here's the brake pads we're putting on. So these are EBC yellow stuff. I didn't just go with it because of the color, but I believe these are supposed to be pretty good performing street braking applications. So I'll let you guys know down the road what I think of them. Steering. This has just been a freaking nightmare getting all of the steering set up. And with every issue that I run into, I feel like I have to keep pulling out the steering column. I've had this darn thing out like 4 times. I did the last time. What happened was I got in here to put this the brake pedal in, so I got pedals. That's cool. Got a gas pedal in there. It's not hooked up yet. I need to put the throttle cable in, and I got a brake pedal. So we got a brake pedal in. Unfortunately, to get that in, I had to pull the column out again. So little orders of things that. It's very easy to get frustrated with doing things in the wrong order and all the effort involved. So that's why I say if you are just looking for the end point, then it gets frustrating really quick. So what I'm doing here, and I'll do more of a breakdown later, but we're doing a manual brake conversion. So thanks to Blake at Battery for giving me crap, telling me I'm a grandma, or maybe I'm not a grandma for wanting to do my power brakes. But you know, my old cast master, the brackets that held the booster itself, all of that gets replaced with this nice simple little manual master brake cylinder and rod. So that is going to look fantastic in here. Nice, and let's put that in there. Come on, get in there. Nice clean setup. So basically just 3 components the new master. It's aluminum, so it cuts a lot of weight too. So aluminum with this little adapter plate, and then the little rod on the inside. I know it's dark in here, so that's gonna be tough to see, but that's just gonna hook up right there. Nice simple setup. I love simplicity. But that push rod, even though it's adjustable rod made for doing this conversion, it didn't work. So I ended up having to take it out, cut it, retap it. Basically you buy a $50 part that's supposed to do the job you need. It doesn't always go that way. You gotta get into it. You gotta think about, okay, well, how can I use what I have to fix this issue? And I like doing that. It's a little frustrating at times, but I enjoy doing that. But if you're just trying to get the job done, it's easy to get pissed off. All right, so let's talk steering. My spool valve is messed up here, so I got some issues with it. Well, it's loose right now, but this is not functioning as it should. So what happens there is it either limits my travel on my steering wheel, or it's harder to turn in one direction. So thanks to Mopar Nut 62 for helping me understand a little bit about at least what is the right area causing that. So when I take it off, it functions well, but obviously you can't drive with it unbolted. It just pukes out fluid everywhere. So the easiest way to really get that tuned in is going to be with the engine running. So we're basically going to hold on that for now until we get it up and running. Other than that, the rest of the steering is all set up now. So it's all good. Time to work on brakes. So that is good. All right, for the brakes, I'm just going to use the stock proportion valve here. This is going to go kind of in there on that back wall. And what that's going to do, that's going to allow me to, I think I'm just going to buy, I like doing a lot of stuff by myself, doing the DIY side of it, but there's certain things that just probably aren't worth the effort. And flaring and doing all new brake lines, it looks like I can probably buy a set that'll work from the proportion valve back for, I think it's like 130 bucks or something to just buy all of that pre-done. I think that's going to be the way I go, just to save some effort, and it's not rocket science. So I will have to do new lines that I'll bend myself to go from here down to the proportion valve, but by keeping it stock from there back, I think it just keeps things simple. Oh, I set up this buffer. I checked out this buffer. This is pretty fun. But you definitely, just one little thing that I learned, you definitely want to try to clean parts before you start buffing them. Otherwise, you just gunk this up right away. Oh well, live and learn. So I'm going to call the front suspension and power steering, I'm going to call that done. But I do need alignment. It's kind of eyeballed in, but at some point I'm going to have to go through and get it done right. And so I do need to mess with that. And I also need to fix my spool valve. Oh, sorry, I have terrible handwriting. Spool valve. So we're going to come back and we're going to do those two items, but in general, we're done there. And really, I'm kind of working on this. Got the pedals in, but I need to get this brake system in. I'm almost done getting the master mounted, and then we'll have to set it up, put the new lines in. We'll do that in a couple days. Fuel system. Today, where I think I'm going to work is getting the back set up. I'm gonna probably pull the wheels off and get my my rear brakes mounted and keep going on that. So early when I first started getting into this, and I still have a lot more respect for people who are doing DIY work, people who are fixing stuff, people who are building their own cars, but I do appreciate that that's not for everybody. It is a ton of work, and realistically, it's tough. It is tough, and I understand if people don't want to go through all of that. So if you're just going to go out and buy a car, hey, I'm not going to judge you for that. I do for sure respect people, and even if it's just little things you fix on your car, great, keep it within what you can do. But yeah, if you just care about getting an awesome car to drive around, you might want to consider buying something, because realistically every little detail takes work. You know, every like little hardware to me is one of the biggest pain in the butt things that you mess with. Is I'm over here trying to find what are the right nuts and bolts for every piece of the car. What's the right thread size? What's the right pitch? You can't just walk in and buy some bolts unless you really know, okay, what is the right size pitch? Is that a flanged bolt or a regular? There's just a lot of details to getting hardware right. And I'm not even trying to get it all original. I'm just trying to get something that functions well. But fighting hardware, fighting every little detail can be a pain. It's also really rewarding. I have a great time. The stupid little brake, you know, length, adjusting that, getting it where it's dialed in right, you know, knowing that, hey, there was an issue, I overcame that issue. To me, that feels great. I enjoy the journey, as well as hopefully getting this on the road. I'm way off track to be done in 30 days, but still making great progress, having a good time along the way. So it's a win for me. But just wanted to say, if you're getting frustrated, you know, that's okay. And if you're thinking of taking on a huge project, maybe start, if you're not sure, maybe start with a little bit smaller project and build up from there. All right, guys, I've rambled on long enough. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Take care. We'll talk to you later.